Gemini, welcome to your weekly Sidereal forecast for July 6th through the 12th. My name is Athen. So we're coming off of that full moon from last week, which was in your 7th house of relationships and one-on-one connections and contracts and all of those, perhaps even business aspects of life. So there's been transformations there, I would say, and or at least there can continue to be, and there has been over many years with Pluto transiting that 7th. And so more activity with that because we have these oppositions going into effect this week starting on Monday when the Sun opposes up to Pluto. And then although not exact, Mars will be still playing a role in that opposition as well. So here with your 7th house, it's been the importance of stepping into your power with relationships, being willing to change and being non-attached in the relationship side of your life in general. So with that energy, that's been very freeing, or can be very freeing, and there is that spiritual power that can be activated through that, which is non-ego power, of course, because once we strip away all the ego attachments to this particular area, the only thing that's left is just true spiritual power. So anyways, that's been transiting that 7th house of yours. Now with the Sun opposition on Monday, is especially remembering the balance between all these goals and drives and ambitions and things you might be involved with these fast-moving planets all in your 1st house. Mercury going in here this week as well. This is a very energetic time, I would say, for you, at least can be. And you can get a lot done. And so with that, just remembering that there are things changing, and especially with our perspective is changing. And for you in the area of relationships, the more willing you are to change there, the better. And then all of that is only going to facilitate more of this, these goals and things that you might be involved with, and vice versa. You know, it's always about balance. And so here, if you have been in, relationship type of situations or whatever, where it is, destructive, or there is that power struggle or whatever it is that Pluto might be bringing up, it's important to bring in, this 1st house energy of assertiveness, asserting yourself when necessary, getting your body moving, physically active, all this stuff, which is 1st house, but finding the middle path between the two and not going to any extremes of one or the other. This is really the house of self and the house of other. And of course, that's an important balance in life. So things to consider there with that, but especially on Monday relating to your self-expression, I think your expression probably is quite good right now at the moment in terms of expressing your identity and asserting yourself. So that's nice, and just remembering to have that non-attachment to that, I think, will be very important. Non-attachment to these goals and everything relating to the 1st house as well will also be an important thing as well. So that's the early part of the week, and then on Wednesday we've got that Mercury shifting into that 1st, so I think you'll be naturally thinking more about these things, and we're coming out of a watery time for you where you had your ruler over here in the 12th house, or maybe you were thinking more about the deeper side of life, spirituality, relaxation, and rest. And so this week with your ruler, there's definitely this shift from the more Piscean relaxing energies of the 12th house into the more active energies of the 1st. So that'll be a shift, and that Wednesday time period will also be quite relaxing, though. Interesting, while it's like a blend of both, because Mars is going to be squaring up to Neptune, who's been transiting that 9th house of life path for you. Hopefully you've been finding that flow with that, and I think Neptune's just being very well aspected this week. So I think you are having that faith and trust in regards to life path and philosophy and everything, expansive, and travel and everything like that. So that's all very nice, and I think that's creating this peace that can certainly be had while perhaps getting involved with these active things this week. So a nice flow there with Mars trining up to Neptune on Wednesday. It's really Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, Friday and Saturday, after that Mercury goes into your 1st, he will then square up to the North Node. So this is emphasized for you because it's your ruler. This whole life path this year has been about connecting to home, family, learning more about these areas of life, improving that area of life. And so putting more energy into that is really the highlight for you Geminis, because it's your ruler, And that square energy is very constructive when you're wanting to put in that energy towards home, family, past roots, that kind of stuff. And And it's, it's not personal, because sometimes, this isn't a personal planet. It just depends on how it's aspecting our personal chart. But the gateway certainly is there, and that is where the growth is for you right now at the moment. Now, that's pretty much the week. On Sunday, we have some aspects going into next week. I'll cover these more in detail in the next reading, but I want to give you a heads up. Venus will be squaring up to Saturn while the Sun squares up to Uranus on Sunday going into Monday. So here it's very important, especially, with the spiritual things and even with your self-expression around Sunday, take it slow because Venus naturally rules those areas for you. Being patient with that stuff. And then also in relation to your Sun, your communications, being patient with that and your thought patterns, and not making any rash decisions on Sunday with the ruler of your third house there being squared by Uranus, because Uranus is very sudden, wanting to make some sudden changes and things. So staying grounded on Sunday, and I'll talk more about this into next week. But this whole week is certainly highlighting that first house, and just being, the more open you are, I think, to change in relationship and change to you, really, and your goals and things, then it can be a very constructive week, very flowing, especially with your ruler going into that first house. So, Gemini, I hope you guys have a nice week. If you'd like a personal session, please get in touch at masteringthezodiac.com. Or if you are new to Sidereal, do check the description down below, because this is different from your typical Western readings online. So have a nice week, Gemini. Talk to you next time.